You're sitting in emergency department and suddenly a 19-year-old girl enters, presenting with severe vomiting and abdominal pain. She is very drowsy and is not responding to any of your questions. Seems like the commonest sign and symptoms. But you notice something very peculiar. The girl is breathing very heavily and has very fruity smelling breath that resembles a nail polish remover. That right there is your differentiating point. The patient seems to be suffering from diabetic ketoacidosis. So now you will run all the necessary investigation as soon as possible while stabilizing the patient. How do you reach this conclusion? Let's find out in our today's lecture. In today's world, who does not know of diabetes? There must be some aunt or uncle in your family who is said to be diabetic. Almost two-thirds of the developed world's population has been put into shackles by this multisystemic condition. Because of its prevalence, people these days tend to take it lightly, like it's some harmless genetic trait passed on like male pattern baldness or taking it as casual pain in the back in old age. However, it is anything but. Diabetes itself is a multisystemic disease, meaning it can affect more than one organs or working systems of the body. But not only that, it is also a major constituent of what is called as the metabolic syndrome. In addition, having to consider the fact that how it ends up being the root cause of giving rise to further diseases and syndromes makes it quite terrifying. You all would be knowing about diabetes mellitus, but diabetic ketoacidosis seems like a very different term. To understand diabetic ketoacidosis, let's break up the word to understand it more easily. So firstly, when you hear the word diabetes, it clearly means that the blood sugar level has increased. Now the word ketoacidosis comes from the two words, keto and acidosis. Keto is for the ketones and the acidosis clearly means that the acid levels is increased in the blood. Diabetes is a chronic disease and diabetic ketoacidosis is an acute complication of diabetes. It is a medical emergency as the state of the girl in the case study depicts. Normally, what happens is that insulin helps glucose to enter the cells that make up our muscles and tissues and provide them with energy. Although the major source of energy for our body is glucose, but there are also fatty acids. Now, in a normal functioning healthy adult, insulin is the key player that keeps everyone in their limited range. Sort of like the PE school teacher that would keep the kids segregated and prevent an uncontrolled mess of children who barge in wherever they like. So when there is insulin deficiency or resistance, glucose is not taken up by the muscle cells. As glucose is a source of energy for the muscles and the body, energy production also decreases. To compensate for this decrease in energy, the body breaks down fats. This breakdown produces energy along with the other substances like acids and ketones that build up in the blood and lead to ketoacidosis. Diabetic ketoacidosis is a life-threatening condition as it can lead to loss of consciousness and even death. But how? Switch to the next section for more details.